Do you ever feel that the people who come on are too extreme to represent where the majority position is on an issue, and that actually contributes to more divisiveness in our culture rather than to problem solving?
It's a good question. I think, look, I've interviewed Nick Fuentes last week. Many people think he's due to the extreme right. And, certainly blew up very big and millions of people watched it and millions of people debated it and it caused a lot of controversy and so on. My view about people like him is you can either let them operate in their own silo, unchallenged, unhinged in many ways, and just spread their message, which many people think is extreme, to millions and millions of people, and they get their own traction without anyone holding them to account. Or, as with Andrew Tate, another one I would say I've interviewed a few times, I get them in front of me. They already have a big following. It's not going to make much difference whether I interview them or not. But I do at least then have something on my platform where people can come and they can see them properly challenged. And you're not going to change their minds, the people themselves, but you can change the floating voter, if you like.
I thought your interview with Nick Fuentes was a real mitzvah. You did a real public service because not only did you expose his views for what they were by pushing back, you exposed the false dichotomy that someone like Tucker Carlson has been putting out there, right? That it's either cancel culture or you have a cozy, nice interview with Nick Fuentes. No, you did a journalism. You had him on and you asked him tough questions. I think my question was more about in the debate format.
Yeah.
I am a person who's pro-Israel, very critical of Israel. I have friends who you have on who are brilliant Palestinians, Omar Badar, for example.
Yeah.
I love that guy. We don't agree about anything. I learn a lot every time I hear him talk. But sometimes you'll have people who are just so far to the extreme, let's say on the pro-Israel, that I feel repelled by them.
Right.
Or so far to the extreme on the pro-Palestinian side
Yes,
that I can tell even you're repelled by them. And I guess my question is that not just clickbait that's dragging down the quality of the debate? What say you?
I think occasionally I do feel that after a debate goes completely haywire and you think actually that person was behaved in a repellent manner and was unwatchable. That has happened occasionally. But again, I would apply the rule that the kind of people you're talking about on both the pro-Palestinian side and the pro-Israeli side, who people see or believe are extreme, and it doesn't make me laugh, but it's a kind of irony that when I get on my X feed in the morning, I've got nearly 9 million followers. I've got as many people on the Israeli side accusing me of platforming anti-Semites as I have people on the pro-Palestinian side saying that I've got people on the extremity of the other side as well. And so everyone's furious with me for platforming everybody, which is part of the problem with social media. But I do think, again, a lot of the sort of ones I get on who are of the type you're talking about, they have massive followings. And so, again, I think it's useful to get them on. And even if they do blow up and they do become very extreme, because they are, some of them extreme, at least I can call them out and you'll see it being called out in real time. I do think it's better than these people operating completely unchallenged in their own world. I think that can be more damaging than platforming them but challenging them.
You're being challenged right now for an interview you recently did with an Israeli minister. You told her that you felt that the actions of Israel was causing an uptick in anti-Semitic violence, making Jews worldwide unsafe. As you know, anti-Semitism started to explode, the day after October 7th, even before Israel invaded Gaza. It seems to me that what you were doing there was almost accepting the logic of the anti-Semites, that Israel should cater its actions and its view of how to protect its citizens, to accept that, if it goes too far, this will justify violence in a way. I know that's not what you meant to say. What were you trying to get at there?
Yeah, no, I wasn't making that point at all. I was saying that there are people out there, and you just have to Google it. Thomas Friedman of the New York Times, who's Jewish, wrote a powerful column about this, that he believed the actions of the Israeli government had gone way too far and had made the lives of Jewish people worldwide, of whom there are only 15 million. I always remind people there are 2 billion Muslims and there are 15 million Jews. So the actions of the Israeli government, which many around the world assume represent Jewish people, even though they only represent actually the people of Israel, but I do think they have an impact on the lives of Jewish people worldwide. And I wasn't saying this was my view. I said this is a view that is held by a lot of people.
Piers Morgan, God bless and protect you. Thank you so much for joining me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.